Kia ora, and welcome to this video where we dive into the new English curriculum for phases 1 and 2. By the end of this video, I hope you have a better understanding of how it's structured and what there is in it. There are 8 key parts of it that I'll cover in this video. These parts are critical focus, progress outcomes, teaching guidance, strands, substrands, focus areas within each substrand, sequence statements by year group, and finally, teaching considerations. Okay, so each phase has a critical focus. It's kind of like the overall aim of the phase. Phase 1 is thriving in environments rich in literacy and maths, and Phase 2 is expanding horizons of knowledge and collaborating. Then we have progress outcomes which reflect the critical focus. They follow the understand, know, do framework we're all familiar with now, and it outlines 5 big ideas that students will develop increasingly deeper understanding of over their entire time at school. So these stay the same across all 5 phases. The knows describe 3 important, meaningful concepts through which the students will develop their understanding of those big ideas, and the do's describe 4 practices, strategies, processes, skills, things like that are used to both learn and apply the big ideas and concepts. And the graphic shows that the ideas are there to be interwoven across the literacy program. The knows and do's are slightly different for phases 1 and 2, but there's not too much difference between them. They serve well as like little signposts, so you can have a look and check what did they learn in a prior phase, what are they working towards in their current phase, and what's going to be expected of them when they move to the next phase. The third part is the teaching guidance, which is of course backed up with the science of learning. This gives us 5 key characteristics in how we learn and 3 aspects that can guide teacher decision making. For the purpose of this video, we won't go into them and have a look, but they're really good, so go and have a look at them online. Now we have where things start to get more specific. First of all, we've got the strands. There's 3 of them, the first being oral language, then we have reading and writing. Within each strand there are sub-strands, and there's 11 of them in total, 4 in oral language, 3 in reading and 4 in writing. And those 11 sub-strands are communicating ideas and information, interpersonal communication, vocabulary and grammar, and communication for learning. In reading, we have word recognition and reading enrichment, comprehension, and critical analysis. And in writing, we have transcription skills, composition, writing craft, and writing processes. Now 11 is doable, right? But there's also another layer, and within each substrand there's different focus areas, and there's 39 of them in total. 10 focus areas for oral language, 14 for reading, and 15 for writing. Just pause the video on the next slide if you want to read all 39 focus areas. Here's the nitty-gritty. The teaching sequence statements are the details around what children will learn. I find they're probably most similar to the previous literacy learning progressions, but there's even more detail now to support us, and we're going to know exactly what we need to teach, which is really cool. While they're organised by year group, it's probably worth noting that the curriculum does state that teachers are encouraged to use their professional judgment and assessment information when choosing what it is that you want to teach and how to teach it. But there does still seem to be an expectation that all of the content is taught. And interestingly, it says this quote here. The only thing is, I don't really find the structure of it necessarily conducive for busy teachers to do this easily, especially with all of the changes going on in education at the moment. Anyway, there's quite a few statements to cover for each year group. These numbers here are only approximate really, but because some of them have actually got lots of little subparts to them. So in truth there's probably even more. So connecting it all together where things naturally align becomes even more important. The teaching considerations are the details around how teachers will teach, and there's lots of really cool ideas and hints in here, and they all support the critical focus, progress outcomes, teaching guidance that's at the front of the curriculum. Okay, to sum up then. There might be a lot, but there's really good stuff here. Lots of detail around what to teach and considerations for how we teach it. We haven't had this level of detail before really, so this is great for literacy development. However, the flip side is that it's a bit overwhelming at first, right? A lot of new parts within the structure to get your head round, to find and to plan for. But the good news, it can be simplified, it can be connected, and it can be made a lot easier to understand. Check out my next video that simplifies the curriculum down to 10 key aspects of things, outlining things that we have to cover with our kids. And it will also show you where you can find those within the curriculum. Or go to my Teachers Pay Teachers store to download the free curriculum map that shows you where to find what you need. Or just reach out and I'll try and point you in a helpful direction where I can. Ngā mihi koutou.